What's your footprint now in Asia Pacific?
Well, we're still based in Honolulu, Hawaii. We have a majority of our properties are there, but we expanded now, and we have 7 Outrigger resorts outside of Hawaii. We have an Outrigger resort in Guam, 2 properties in Thailand, Laguna Phuket, as well as beautiful Koh Samui Island. We've had 2 properties now in Fiji for many years, including the beautiful Castaway Island in the Mamanuca chain. We opened Outrigger Mauritius a few years ago, and our most recent property, Outrigger Kanoda Island, which is in the southern part of the Maldives.
Southern part of the Maldives. Now, which is that behind us?
That is the beautiful Outrigger Kanoda Island. So that was a property that we finished in 2015 and opened in August of 16. So it's, August of 15. So it's just over 2 years old. What you see here is about half of the units are over water, including our presidential villa we call the Grand Kanoda Villa. It's about 3,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, just a spectacular villa for us. Arguably the nicest property we have in the world.
And I see moving up here, well, too much light there, but that's the main island. And how many villas on the island itself?
We have 54 villas, again about half over water. The rest are all right on the sand. Spectacular. We have a mix of 2 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms, and again the 3-bedroom Grand Kanoda Villa. We have 4 restaurants on the property, an exclusive yacht that you arrive on, multiple watercraft, and I'm proud to say I think we're one of the few properties in the world that has a dedicated marine biologist that's at the property at all times.
Sounds wonderful. Outrigger is entering its 70th anniversary. What do you have planned for guests and such to celebrate this momentous occasion?
I like to think we look pretty good for 70, but we were founded in 47 by Roy and Estelle Kelly, so 2 real people. We actually celebrated the 70th anniversary on September 29th. Roy and Estelle were famous for making waffles for their guests, and so we celebrate with waffles around the entire Outrigger system for our hosts, for our guests, and we do a little birthday celebration with cake, etc. So that kicked off our 70th. We have promotions planned throughout the year for travel agents as well as for our guests, special booking rates, and we're going to run a program actually starting in January where we encourage guests and hosts to tell their favorite stories from the last 70 years about Outrigger. We've already collected hundreds of them, so we'll be posting all those live via social media, via our website, and then we're going to select a few winners to come to Hawaii and actually celebrate with us in May, and we're going to do a platinum, which is 70th obviously anniversary event at the Outrigger Reef, which was the second Outrigger property that was developed in Waikiki.
What is your repeat clientele base? Is it very high? Talking about?
It depends on the property. Castaway Island runs almost 55% repeat business, which is spectacular, unheard of in the industry.
Really?
But probably in Hawaii it's 25 to 30%. And so part of that led us to launch our loyalty program last year. So last year we announced a GHA Discovery program, which is now a part of the Global Hotel Alliance, hence GHA, and that program has been very successful for us. So now we have a way to recognize and reward our loyal guests and our loyal travel agents that have booked with us for many, many years.
Well, besides being the 70th anniversary, on the 69th, Dr. Kelly decided to kind of more or less retire and sell out to KSL, which I don't know what it stands for, but it's no longer a family-run business. What are the implications?
Well, it's obviously it's a time of transition for us, and Dr. Kelly, as we were talking about earlier, decided to retire, as well as the 7 or 8 family members that were part of the company. David Carey, who was the son-in-law and the CEO for about 29 years, has also decided to join a position on the board, and so there's been some changes in management, but we're still a family values-led company, and that's something that KSL believes in. They believe in the brand, they believe in the company. KSL is a Denver-based private equity firm. They only operate in and invest in the hospitality space. They started in the ski industry, golf industry, have experience in Hawaii, and have been a fantastic owner since they acquired the company in December of 16.
So the focus and direction of Outrigger, for now anyways, remains the same.
Remains the same. As we like to say with our new owners, we had a very good thing going with Outrigger, and they like to take it to the next level. So it's a good to great story. They've committed to make investments in the product, the people, the training, technology, and so there's a significant amount of capital investment planned. They're also ambitious and want to expand the pipeline for us moving forward. So we're excited again about the depth of capital, the depth of experience, and their broader, frankly, access than the Kelly family.
Well, no, Outrigger always believed in its guests experiencing local, but you've branded it with signature experiences. How's that going?
So we decided to create a framework. We don't want it to be cookie cutter, and you're exactly right, Charlie. At the end of the day, part of the magic of Outrigger was not only the family ownership, but also the local culture, the local host basically being a part of who we are, what made us unique and different, and something that we could really capitalize on and differentiate from our competitors. And so we created the model for all 9 Outrigger resorts called Signature Experiences, really based on what happens at arrival, what are the local things that happen, the local customs that we try to share with people during the stay, and then some sort of a unique farewell greeting. Each of the property executes that in a manner consistent with the local cultures. So in Hawaii, the Aloha spirit is obviously alive and well. In Fiji, we welcome with a loud hula. And then in Thai culture, obviously, the sense of arrival is tied to a little bit of a flower charm, something that you wouldn't see anywhere in the world. So we launched that program about a year and a half ago formally, but in reality, it's been part of our programming for many years.
And you're making a big commitment to honeymoon and vow renewal sector. Why?
You know, it's interesting. One of the signature experiences was actually a vow renewal. We started that program in Hawaii, and when we talked to our general managers in Fiji and other parts of the world, they said, "Wow, that's pretty interesting. Our guests don't know what that is." And as we brought that, it actually resonated. And so the signature experiences have been sort of a combination of local customs in one place, then moved and adapted. And we believe at the end of the day, vow renewals fit that model pretty well.
How often do vow renewals take place on the spot versus booked ahead?
It's a mix. We have, in Hawaii as an example, there's formal vow renewals during the week, but if the guest can't make that work, we make it work for them. And so the honeymoons are a little bit more easy to plan. Typically those are tied to a wedding program and the bride's intentions. Vow renewals we're a little bit more fluid with.
I see Vietnam, talking about future development, is on the kiosk. Talk a little bit about that and any other new properties in the pipeline.
Yes, we've had good success, obviously, in Asia Pacific. We think our values-based approach, our model, the Outrigger way, as we call it, translates into the Asia Pacific cultures. We've had experience in Guam, Palau, the Marshall Islands, Australia for many years, and so we constantly are looking in those tropics, in those warm weather destinations, those aspirational leisure resort destinations, and clearly Vietnam fits. We would love to see a property in Vietnam. We have a contract in Vietnam in an area called Vinh Hoi, and that's something to look forward to. We're also actively looking in North America again, Mexico, as well as probably Southern California. That's something that KSL is interested in exploring. We'd love to be back in Australia, but our sweet spot really is still in the tropics. Warm weather, absolute beach locations, you know, at some of the most aspirational places in the world, and some places that you may not think about. The Philippines, for example, has some of the greatest beaches and an area that we'd love to explore.